So it was an illusion after all, but I had considered the possibility, but I wasn't completely sure. So since it was also possible that Kate killed the wrong guy before, I'm glad to see that they figured it out somehow. That was wondering, like, didn't we just kill him? How did he come back? We should probably run up to his corpse and take a look at any devices he has and use them for our advantage, maybe. With the black robe guy now confirmed to be dead, I land on the ground near Kate and Luna. I take another look at the whole battlefield in order to assess our current situation. What catches my eye is the most is what's currently happening in the sky. The big rocks that were floating high above us have become more than double in number since the last time I looked at them. Does this mean the Earth Elementalists have just been creating boulders non-stop since the beginning of the battle? All of a sudden, the rocks in the sky begin to move around in a very unusual manner, as if the Earth Elementalists were preparing for something. This isn't looking good. Maybe I should tell the others about this. So I should have been attacking the Earth Elementalists then, maybe? These boulders up in the sky have begun to move. I'm gonna do that in the, when I do the book again with the perfect playthrough or whatnot. These boulders up in the sky have begun to move. I tell Kate and Luna, I think we're going to need some magical barriers soon. I'll make a wind barrier, but you'll need to get a little closer together first, Melindra says. As soon as Kate, Flower, and Keldrim and I get within 5 feet of Melindra, she begins to cast a protective spell, and a semi-transparent barrier slowly materializes all around us. I'd rather keep focused on attacking the captain until Melindra's barrier fails. Kate says the last thing we need is for him to immobilize us again while rocks are falling on our head. Can't you make your ice dome slightly transparent so that I can see Captain through it and continue to shoot your icicles at him? I say. Yes, Kate says, but as soon as I will start concentrating on reinforcing the ice dome, my icicles become weaker, and this might give the captain the chance to strike at us. I say it's still worth it. We're going to need every possible defense against that many rocks. Alright, let's keep the ice dome as the last alternative then. Well, no, he will definitely attack. But what can he do in, like, slightly affected tone? He can pull one of us, but we're inside, like outside his range. He can attack. Oh no, he can attack probably Darren and Layla. I'm gonna say let's keep the ice dome as the last alternative then. I then turn towards Darren and Layla, who are still hiding inside Darren's barrier to defend themselves against the air elementalist wind blaze. Hey Darren, Layla, I shout, come over here fast. The earth elementalist in the sky might attack us any moment now. When Darren and Layla hear me, they rush out of their barrier as fast as they can, while Darren uses his shield to defend against any wind blades that the air elementalist is still sending towards them. As they get inside Melindra's wind barrier, Darren uses his shield to make a barrier of his own to defend us against any incoming wind blades. You think your barriers will work against any of the rocks? I asked Darren. From what I have seen, they all seem to have been created magically. It should work fine, Darren says. If there are any regular rocks in there, they'll pass right through my barrier though. It's all good and well and good, I say. We still have Melindra's wind barrier as backup in case yours fails. There should be enough to defend us for the time being. Not long after we set up our defenses, the Earth Elementalist also finishes his preparation. Now all his bolters are nicely aligned so he can more easily throw them at us. The first wave he sends towards us is made up of only 10 rocks, probably to test the durability of a barrier. Fortunately for us, none of them managed to get past Aaron's protective spell. Even if the boulders were all fairly large, they were coming from all directions. Now that he's gotten a better idea of what to expect, the Earth Elemental is sending down about 50 large rocks at very high speed from every angle possible. Some of the rocks are round, while others have sharp tips, likely enhanced by magical sharpening as well as heavy reinforcement. Once they hit the Darren's semi-transparent barrier, the majority of the boulders either slide off of it or break into pieces from the force of the impact. None of them are getting through. This is a relief. For a moment there, I wasn't sure Darren's defenses could withstand such a relentless assault, but I'm glad to see I was mistaken. Ooh, toughness check failed. Before I get to finish my train of thought, 2 small boulders pass through both the Darren and Melindra's barrier with ease. One of them hits me in the head. Before I even get the time to realize what's going on, impact of the hit cracks my skull in an instant as my consciousness slowly fades away. So I'm guessing he probably saw that, I was probably one of the weaker links. Our character Barry was one of the weaker links, and he just attacked with like a small rock at a very high speed that would clearly pass through the barrier, and also like an actual rock so it won't be deflected. Okay. Yeah, this is getting difficult. I'm not quite entirely sure how to do this. So I suppose you either need toughness or you need to go hit the Earth Elementalist in the sky. I'm gonna try to deal with the Earth Elementalist this time instead of going on the attack for the, what is his name? Thelius's ambassador. You guys take care of him. I'll deal with the Earth Elementalist in the sky. Don't take any stupid risk when you go after him. Kate says. I won't, I say. Kate, if we want to target the bastard properly, we need to cut off his escape route first. Luna says, I'm on it. Kate says, yeah, then a barrier comes from behind. He then makes 2 long reps. Yeah, this is all something we have read just now. Prepare to fail him. Have different water serpents. Yeah, the barrier. What are you looking at? The captain shouts at the other guards. Yeah. Help me defend the ambassador. The captain stopped talking. Hard attacks contour. We read this. Melinda, could you give me the flight spell? Yeah, we already got it. Araka says that there's the guy and we're gonna shoot him. He is dead. I fly up in the sky, heading towards the hundreds of boulders that are just floating in the air waiting to drop on us. Am I just imagining things, or are there more rocks now than there were before? I'm definitely not imagining. The number of rocks have almost doubled since the last time I looked at the sky. Does this mean this bastard has just been making boulders all this time while the rest of us are busy fighting below? I suppose that would explain why he hasn't bothered to attack us again after that one time at the beginning. He must still be preparing his ammunition. When I get close to the rocks, I slow down my speed and fly into their midst in the hopes they will find the earth elementalists who made them somewhere nearby. Oh boy, there sure are a lot of boulders here, aren't they? I wonder if what would happen if I were to kill the earth elementalists who created them while the boulders are still floating in the sky. They probably won't be kind enough to just remain in the air, will they? Then again, if I don't deal with the elementalists, he'll just be making more of these rocks, and then he'll send them towards the ground at an even higher speed than if they were simply falling. Maybe with a little luck, I can bribe or threaten the guy to move the rocks away from the battlefield. If worst comes to worst, I guess I could just shout a warning to everyone below as soon as the earth elementalist is dead. That should normally give my friends enough time to defend themselves on the falling rocks in one way or the another. Magical sense check failed. Of course, we didn't get any magical sense and we are dead again. After flying around aimlessly for a few more seconds, I realized that I'm not making any progress like this, so I decide to close my eyes and to focus only on finding the mage's aura. I float there in the middle of all the rocks for about 10 seconds, trying in vain to detect any aura that might seem like belongs to a person. I keep trying and trying, but his aura is just too well hidden, as if he wasn't even there. I don't get to think about this much longer, because 2 large boulders approach me at great speed while I'm not paying attention, coming from both sides. They smash my head into pieces before I can get to understand what's going on. Yep, you're dead again. Holy shit, we are dying. If I focus my attacks, I die, because I don't have toughness. I don't have magical sense, so I can't really deal with the earth elementalist in the sky because he's hidden. So I guess the only one that is out in the open is the air elementalist, which I think is the worst one to go after, because we don't have, like, our range attacks would be meaningless against him, but let's try. Okay, I'll take care of the air elementalist elf in the meantime. Yeah, I think that everything else is just the same. Okay, so this is where the Draymar, the black cloak guy, died, and now we're gonna continue from this one, this is a bit new. Darren, let's try fighting the air elementalist together, I say. As I'm floating slightly above the ground, I'll charge at him, try to create an opening, then you guys can go in for the kill, understood? Lila writes. Understood, Lila writes. Don't you think maybe I should go first? Darren says, nah, I say I got this. I then fly in the direction of the air elementalist, who for some reason hasn't moved from his spot since the beginning of the battle. Observation check successful, level 3. Reflex check success. So this is the one I should have been going for, considering my level. Apparently, didn't they say at one point that even if you don't have any skill point put in, you can still play this game? I don't know how would you even do this, but regardless, this is the one I have, the reflex is an observation for. When I get closer to him, I can't help but notice that my air currents are moving a little unusually, with the wind blowing in my face while I'm flying. It was a little difficult to tell the difference, but now that I've stopped, it most definitely feels like the current around me are not moving in their usual way, as if they were reacting to something. When I extend one of my arms forward, I realize that the air in front of me is also not moving in the way it should. It's also reacting to Melinda's air currents, and this can only mean, Layla, stop moving now, I say. Layla immediately halts her advance. Darren, there's a wind trap in front of me. I think there may be more of them all around this area. Try swinging your sword around as you move. See if you can disarm them and absorb the air element. This having done talking, the elf launches a wind blade towards me, which I somehow managed to dodge in time thanks to my fast reflexes. Seeing that I wasn't hit, the elf continued to send wind blades at me, hoping that it will eventually get overwhelmed, fail to avoid them. Ancient language checks, level 2. While I'm busy awaiting the semi-transparent blades of air, I suddenly hear a man's voice echoing around us. Although it's hard to pinpoint the exact location it's coming from, I immediately recognize the language spoken as being an older elven dialect that is still being used in the eastern continent. Try to pretend that you're casting a powerful spell so I can make an illusion of an air hydra in front of you, the voice says. Okay, but let me push them away from me first. The air elementalist says in the same language, and then he casts a powerful gust of wind that pushes us all away from his location like he said.